what it was. Y'all know who it is, and you tuned in with Priceless Knowledge Yourself, and I figured I'd bring y'all a little cosmic insight for today. And say, man, seeing that it's Thursday, we're going to kick back off into this sun series. And in doing so, we're going to close out this cardinal part. So this right here, this is a little something about those people that have the sun in Libra in their natal chart. And before I can even get to that part, you already know what I'm going to have to do first. I'm going to bring y'all a little bit about the sun in astrology and also give a quick breakdown about the sign of Libra in astrology. So with that being said, let's get it cracking. What is the sun? The sun is the planet itself. It rules the sign of Leo in the 5th house of the zodiac chart. And for me, when it comes to the sun, as it puts forth light, it also brings forth life. In astrology, your sun sign represents the self, one's personality and ego, the spirit, and what it takes to make each one of us individually unique. It is our identity and can really speak to our creative ability and the power we possess to meet life's everyday challenges. One's natural father, maybe the male children, and a lot of the major male influence in your life are represented by the sun. The sun's energy is forceful and people's core being is here. And through its will, we kind of learn to manifest our physical selves in this world. The sun is majestic and it rules royalty. It even exudes it. It's also known to rule our strength and our well-being. It's the sun that brings strength to all the other planets in our chart. And it plays a pivotal role in the big three that consists of the sun, the moon, and the rising sign. Where the moon is your inner self and the soul, where the sun is your spirit and kind of the whole thing. And the rising sign is how you come across to other people. And as always, the sun spends about 28 days or a month in each sign. So what is the sign of Libra? Libra is the 7th sign of the zodiac. It rules the 7th house. Its symbol is the scales. It's ruled by Venus, and it rules over the lower back and the kidneys. And its mantra for me is, I relate. So being the 7th sign of the zodiac and cardinal air, y'all, it's kind of here that things shift. Because the first 6 signs of the wheel focus on the individual self. And these last 6 put more focus on the individual's interaction with others in the world around it. So the Libra sign's focus first and foremost is on partnership and how we relate to other people or one individual especially. It is a sign of partnership because Libra doesn't like to be alone. It feels like everything is kind of done better in a pair. And this energy is really good like that because it really seeks balance wherever it goes. It's all about harmony and fair play, and it's a real team player. But its main concern is combining with that one energy that brings it balance or brings something to the table that the Libra energy might not be able to offer. And a lot of the time that's assertiveness and decisiveness. Libra is about beauty, aesthetics, and money too. And I think the main thing you got to deal with in a negative sense with Libra energy is indecisiveness. But I think it's, or not want to take a side, but I really think it's more about seeing things objectively and taking it from a cognitive standpoint. And so what happens when you're born with your sun in Libra in your natal chart? You're a pretty motherfucker. Now I'm just playing. The number one thing I want to say about Libra is, you know, they really bring a touch of class wherever they go. They kind of got a real proper energy in a way. These people are really likely to be motivated, by a need for action around principles of fairness, justice, and equality. Because being symbolized by the scales, Libra is about matters of law, peace, and social interaction. And it being in cardinality makes it all about the need to act, which they kind of achieve in ways that are relationship or partnership oriented, using interpersonal connections to drive themselves forward in life. You know what I mean? Not only are they pretty motherfuckers, you know, Libra's got capital connections. You know what I mean? They are able to establish these because they seek harmony in their dealings with others, you know, striving on most counts to keep shit balanced and fair in their relationships and their partnerships. You know, these people are really relationship oriented, and that doesn't mean in a sexual romantic relationship necessarily. You know what I mean? They're about getting something done together, coming together and together getting something done. You know what I mean? They're about justice and fair play. And, you know, a lot of the time that's going to lead them to want their own thing, which is a beautiful thing also. And Libra people are also extremely sociable, and, you know, they're really social butterflies. They love to interact with people. they're really good like that. They're very pleasant. They usually have a polite and nice and charming disposition. Not only this, these natives are usually keenly aware how other people react to them. You know what I mean? And they'll do everything in their power to maintain good relationships while at the same time taking necessary action, you know, to get the outcomes that they want. Excuse me. They, like I said, they know how to play capital connections. And sometimes Libra people can come across as superficial because, you know what I mean? They're not going to get too deep with you. They want to handle their business and move on. But it can leave people confused because you have this person that was so nice and so eager to help. And you start thinking, hey, man, this person's all about me. But a lot of the times the Libra is all about getting what they want to get done. And are they wrong? No. Like I said, these motherfuckers are relationship oriented. And the need to understand and balance interpersonal dynamics is paramount in their lives for the simple fact that they typically see themselves clearest through the mirror of another person. With Libra people, you know, a lot of the times they really don't know who they are, and they establish their own self-identity by what they're seeing reflected back through the pupils of another individual. A lot of Libras, you know, they kind of become relationship specialists of sorts. But the problem with that is the intricacies of maintaining harmony in these relationships can consume their whole lives. What they really need to learn is to search for the right one. Kind of must always begin with the self. And when they develop a cohesive sense of self through the reflections that they gain from other motherfuckers, it's going to present a whole boatload of problems for them in their lives eventually. The sun represents this principle of individuality, and here in the sign of Libra of relationships, it's considered to be in its fall because Libras aren't too much about the individual. Aries is the sign of self, and we're talking about its polarity here. Libra is the sign of relationships. You get what I mean? And so that kind of puts it in its fall here. And there's something inherently paradoxical about finding oneself through the agency of another. But it is what it is because this is kind of the exact archetypical journey of the Libra. On a more positive note, these people are awesome at offering wise counsel, and they make masterful diplomats because in a positive manifestation, their relationship emphasis gives extraordinary ability to see shit from other people's point of view. You know what I mean? Like I said, the scales is about seeing things objectively and making decisions in that. And sometimes that can cause them to come across as indecisive. But they just want to make sure that they're taking everything and they're making the fair decision. And sometimes that can take too long. And when we talked about that in the Mercury and Libra video, man, y'all got to be a little bit cognizant of the people behind you in line, man. And on a more dysfunctional level, however, this same dynamic can manifest in the individual having no real ability to know who the fuck they really are or get what the fuck they really need for themselves. Sometimes those born with their sun here, they really struggle to see themselves clearly or even believe that they actually exist without somebody letting them know that this is what it is. And that can get you out there, man. A lot of the times, these are with Venus's influence though, these are beautiful people. And if they're not beautiful on the outside, their demeanor is beautiful. They're charming. You know what I mean? They're made to love. And I will say that. But I also say that if y'all don't find some way to balance out your own authenticity and your constant need for interpersonal interaction, you're going to constantly find yourself in cycles of codependency in your relationships. My advice for y'all Libras that's fucking with me is to utilize the ability to see things objectively to identify where you're lacking balance in your own motherfucking life and see how you can balance that out yourself instead of looking for that in somebody else. You know what I mean? Some of y'all Libras got to learn how to be alone. You're so fucking beautiful. You're so fucking intelligent. You know what I mean? Learn to love yourself before you go seek that in somebody else's eyes. Hey, man. You already know what it was. There's been some priceless knowledge yourself, man. No matter where you got the sun at, no matter where you got the moon at, no matter what the fuck you got going on, understand that you ain't got to feed into these negative qualities. You ain't got to build with this negative bullshit. Just because you built like that, it don't mean you got to build like that. Just because energy's there don't mean you have to utilize it. Hey, man. If you're fooling with me, please like, share, and subscribe. If you're interested in the astrological readings whatsoever, please either hit me up in the comments below or email me at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. And until in a minute, when I bring y'all a little something about those people that have their sun in Scorpio, hey, y'all keep it real.